There's a very common question I see in the ribbon collecting community that goes something like this. Hey guys, I fed my Pokemon bad Poffins and now their contest stats are screwed up. Is it still possible to win all the contests? This question occurs so frequently that it gave me an idea. What are the worst possible contest stats that a Pokemon could be locked into? And with said stats, would it still be possible to win every contest ribbon? Well, in order to find out, let's begin our journey with the first appearance of contests in Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. Now before we start theory crafting the worst possible contest stats, I should clarify that I don't just mean literally 0 in every stat, at least not here in Generation 3. While it's technically true that no Pokéblocks is always going to be worse than yes Pokéblocks, it's not a useful benchmark when figuring out if a Pokemon is truly locked out of winning every contest. If a Pokemon hasn't eaten all the Pokéblocks it can ever eat, it still has room for improving its stats. This is Van No, the Shadow Smeargle I caught in my first ever playthrough of Pokemon Colosseum. He's been waiting for his turn to be purified for a few years now, and I'm here to open the door to his heart and inflict an even greater curse upon him in return. With that in mind, our goal will be to completely fill our Pokemon's limiting Sheen stat while giving as few points as possible to its cool, beauty, cute, smart, and tough stats. The amount of Sheen filled by a Pokéblock is entirely determined by the average smoothness of the berries put in, minus the number of players blended. In the entire series, the title of highest smoothness berry is a tie between the 4 e-reader exclusive Strib, Chyland, Niniku, and Topo berries, each with a massive shared smoothness stat of 85. In order to prevent our chosen Pokemon from gaining any benefit from these rare berries, we'll intentionally sabotage the recipe by using 2 Strib berries. Doing this ruins the resulting Pokéblock, and instead of calculating the flavors of each berry put in and applying a bonus based on how fast we blend, the game will punish the redundant recipe by setting 3 random flavors to a mere 2 points each. This is actually the same technique used to make the most efficient Pokéblocks in the series, with 4 Nut Pea berries resulting in a Pokéblock that gives 6 stat points for only 1 point of Sheen. But by inverting it to use the highest smoothness berry instead of the lowest, our resulting Pokéblock gives 6 points across 3 random stats in exchange for 83 of our 255 possible Sheen, burning through well over a quarter of our possible Pokéblock budget and giving us less than 1/10 of a stat point per point of Sheen spent. With just a few trades, we can feed 4 double Strib Pokéblocks for a grand total of 6 cool, 6 beauty, 4 cute, 6 smart, and 2 tough. There is one saving grace in the fact that having maxed out our Sheen does count towards our visual score. Now obviously I didn't just pick Smeargle for his adorable face, as Smeargle's signature move Sketch allows it to permanently copy just about any move we could possibly want to use in a contest, allowing us to make up for our purposefully bad contest stats by putting together some of the highest scoring combos available. The first thing to consider if we want to score high is what contest combination we want to run. In Generation 3, using certain moves will cause the judge to take notice, and will double the score of certain follow-up moves on the next turn. Most of these are pretty intuitive by what they do in battle, like Rest doubling the score of both Sleep Talk and Snore. But some, like Fire Punch into Ice Punch, are purely just using 2 thematic moves back to back. The most powerful move that can be doubled this way is easily Destiny Bond, which scores a whopping 8 hearts but prevents you from taking any more turns in the current contest. By using it on the 5th and final turn, we can avoid the downside, and by using Curse, Endure, or Mean Look on the previous turn, the score doubles to our gargantuan 16 hearts, making this combo easily worth slotting in every contest. Of the 3, Curse scores the most hearts, and conveniently we can sketch moves by using them in front of the Wild Smeargle in Artisan Cave, having them sketch, and then having Van No sketch it from them. As for the other 3 turns of the contest, our game plan will revolve around moves like High Jump Kick, Superpower, and Takedown that score 6 hearts but make us more susceptible to jamming, a possible secondary effect of usually low scoring moves that make up for it by causing opponents to lose some amount of hearts. Any jamming effects that hit us while we're vulnerable like this will be doubled, potentially halving or entirely erasing our score that turn in an instant. The potential payout is well worth it though, as most of these moves can themselves be part of a combo, starting the contest with a 6 heart move, setting it up to combo turn 2, and landing a massive combo appeal on turn 3, finishing it out with Curse and Destiny Bond. Ideally, both parts of our combo would be on theme, but for the cool category, none of the 6 heart cool moves combo with another cool move. While no 2 iterations of Pokemon contests throughout the series are identical, most of them feature a 5-notch meter called Applause or Voltage. If a Pokemon uses a move from one of the adjacent contest types like Tough or Beauty in a cool contest, the meter stays the same. If the move is a type opposite to the contest, the meter will go down by 1. But by using a move of the same type, the meter goes up by 1, and in Hoenn, this awards an additional heart. Crucially, if the meter hits 5, there's a massive jackpot of 6 hearts up for grabs. So if we're going to maximize our scoring potential, it's pivotal that we use moves that match the contest type. For Cool, we'll use Charge into Volt Tackle. And luckily, unlike the Cool contest, the combination of Sunny Day and Overheat is comprised of 2 beauty moves. We will, however, have to switch things up slightly for the Cute contests. Of the 6 heart moves, none of them fall in the Cute category, so instead we'll put together a combo using 2 4-heart moves, Mud Sport and Water Sport. This scores 5, then 9, then 5 hearts on the first 3 turns. Unfortunately less than if we reprised the Sunny Day and Overheat combo, but gives us an opportunity to score jackpots. Cute is honestly the category I struggle with the most even on Ribbon Masters that have their contest stats maxed out, entirely because of the prevalence of the nervousness mechanic. Some moves, such as Attract and Encore, will attempt to make all Pokemon that haven't moved yet nervous, skipping their turn entirely. The chance that nervousness actually lands can vary, being a 60% chance split among however many targets there are. 20% each for 3 targets, 30% for 2, and 60% for just 1. Moves that award condition stars like Swords Dance and Bulk Up reduce your chance of being nervous by 10% for each star, but if you're in the middle of a combo and have the judge's attention, it instead increases your nervousness chance by 10%. Needless to say, if any of our turns are skipped, it cuts into our scoring potential massively, and we'll likely lose the entire contest without high contest stats to make up the difference. Smart contests are less heavy on the nervousness moves, instead opting for a lot more jamming. This has the potential to be a big issue for our combo, as for these contests we'll be using Calm Mind and Psycho Boost, a combination I've used on both Lugia and Deoxys, meaning I've coincidentally run this combination with every Pokemon that can learn Psycho Boost. Last up is the Tough contest, where we'll be using Harden followed by Double Edge. Once we've sketched out each moveset, the last step is to go get the 5 colored scarves from the fan club chairman in Slateport City. By showing him a Pokemon with over 200 in a single stat, he will give us a scarf that gives a corresponding plus 20 to whatever contest stat we're wearing it for. But with our 5 high power contest movesets laid out, it's time to get in there and actually earn some ribbons. Don't jam me, Taria. Don't do it. I gave you that 5-star. I don't think they'd go for a jamming move if there's only one person in front of them. Nope, they hate me. That was minus 14. Batro is that game with the poker cards that I keep seeing on Steam, right? Boboch is actually using our exact same combo. Let's see if we manage to make up the difference. I'm not sure. Gonna be close. Ooh, that was really close. It's always the hardest turn is having to weather the slings and arrows of nervousness move. Especially when you have if you have a combo coming up, you're 10% more likely to get nervous. That Jasmine in the background? I've seen some people say it's supposed to be Jasmine and Price. Alright, this is like a 70% to make us nervous. Hey, we dodged it. But do we actually win the contest? No, I think Choopy's got it. Oh? Wow, I did not think we were coming out on top there. You can see Ninda almost scored more than us, just because they happened to be fed 5 stars. I mean, here I would normally curse, but we can just Calm Mind and get as many points as a curse would earn us. And deny the opponents from getting this 5-star. Fun fact, I misspelled Blossom in a 4th grade spelling bee because I had the Pokemon Bellossom in my head. I blame Aubrey's Blossom. If Blossom wasn't running interference preventing us from doing a combo, we probably could have pulled that win, but... I was hoping Nyx would get nervous. I feel like Nyx is setting up for Mean Look Perish Song as her combo, and that is going to explode all of our points. If Nyx uses Perish Song, we should just reset. We're losing an entire turn of points. Yep. Keep on keeping on, Gonpour. And we don't care about the 5-star because we are already maxing out on hearts on this round anyway. You can't get more than 16 hearts scored in a single round as far as I'm aware. I'm going to go to her. That's the plan. There we go. Actually, that one heart of jam that we got hit with earlier, I think gave Lairn the win. We keep going up against Lairn and they have the same high scoring strategy that we do. And that combined with the fact that others are running interference on us but not them. That one wasn't even as close. Alright. That basically went perfectly. It's amazing what we can achieve when Lairn isn't fouling things up. Unfortunate loss to Heros because they got a 5-star and we didn't. Oh my god. Every time. That was a 30% nervousness, and it only hit us. I think with the 5-star combo turn, we still win, but I don't know if we get the painting. Nope, Sling got it. Okay, so... Yep. Just, failed the 30%. And lost. We would have won with the 16 hearts from that last turn. We actually won that one, but I don't think we're gonna get a painting because of all the jam. Okay. We were already at the end of the bar before we had a 16 heart turn, so if this doesn't get us the win, nothing will. The win and the painting. This is one of those times where it says 10 hearts, but we probably scored way over the cap of what it can display. There we go. There's the tough painting. Amazingly, our performances were not only enough to win the Master Rank contest, but also enough to earn a painting from the artist who watched our contest shows. For him to appear, we must earn at least 40 hearts across both rounds, with perfect contest stats in the first round equating to 31.85 hearts in round 2. With just our Sheen, however, we need to score at least 34 hearts in appeals and win the contest in order to secure the Artist Ribbon. Even without scoring the audience jackpot, barring any jam, we score 7, 2, 13, 3, and 16 hearts in the cool contest alone. And our appeal is so fantastic that we hit 41 hearts without even factoring in our Sheen, and easily clear the threshold to receive our painting. After a few tries to acquire the 5th and final painting, we've not only acquired every Generation 3 contest ribbon, but a full set of paintings hanging in the Lily Cove Museum to prove it. With nothing left of interest here in Hoenn, Van No can set his sights on the next region with contests, Sinnoh. Sinnoh's super contests are quite different from those found in Hoenn, and while some of these changes make our goal easier, most of them make it quite a bit harder. The first glaring change is that Sinnoh contests are divided into 3 rounds: Dress Up, Dance, and Appeal. Instead of all 3 of these adding together into a final score like in Gen 3, each round is ranked individually. You may have noticed that every time we won a Hoenn contest, our bar was always completely filled out, which is a result of Hoenn contests being scored with the winner having a full bar and everyone else's bar being filled proportional to first place. Sinnoh, on the other hand, scores each round separately, with the winner of each round receiving 1/3 of the full bar. Each other contestant fills that third by however much they scored relative to the winner in the same round. This means that like a Hoenn contest, winning all 3 rounds guarantees a full bar, but it isn't strictly the case that the winner will have placed first in all 3. The second big change is how the visual round is scored. When a Pokemon appears on stage, the audience will react with between 0 and 12 hearts. These 8 red hearts are based on a Pokemon's visual score, with the thresholds to earn each red heart increasing with each rank. By the Ultra Rank contests, our 255 Sheen and basically 0 in every other stat isn't even enough for a single red heart, meaning our contest stats score us a flat 0 points in these contests. The scarves have also been nerfed to be a plus 10% bonus rather than 20 points, meaning they don't even move the needle when applied to our intentionally sabotaged stats. In fact, our stats are so bad that they can only be achieved via Pokemon transferred up from Generation 3, as the smoothness of berries was slashed across the board in Generation 4, allowing a Pokemon to eat 5 foul poffins and earn 30 points in their stats compared to our 4 black Pokeblocks for 24. The last 4 pink hearts are purely tied to the accessories the Pokemon is wearing and how well they match the theme announced before the dress-up portion began. This means that at maximum, Smeargle can only earn 1/3 of the maximum points up for grabs here in the Ultra and Master Rank contests. In order to claw back as much advantage as we can during the first round, instead of focusing on increasing our performance, we'll need to look at making sure our opponents do as badly as possible. Our opponents here don't actually have any AI with regards to how they dress up. Instead, each contest opponent has a pre-made outfit that they bring to every category. This is good for us because with a little math we can deduce which categories will net our opponents the fewest pink hearts. Themes like Sharp and Relaxed will allow us to start the contests on significantly less of a back foot, but if we see themes like the Bright, the Gaudy, or the Natural, it's better to reset before the contest even begins rather than play it out and be left in the dust from round 1. Looking at the averages, there is a clear dip in pink heart output when in the created category. And even funnier, Fantina, who is supposed to be one of the hard mode opponents that only unlock in the post-game, earns a square 0 pink hearts on her Driftblim Looney. Speaking of Fantina, she can appear in every category except Cute, and despite her supposed status as a top contest coordinator, we actually want to see her appear as our opponent. Her contest moveset is weird. With Ominous Wind and Focus Energy serving to double her score next turn, she often just spams both of these moves back to back, earning 0 and then doubling it to 0 in the next round. But then her only move that can take advantage of it is Constrict, a move that scores more hearts the later she appeals. Generation 4 determines turn order by letting the lowest score each round go first, so if she uses a double next turn move, she'll in all likelihood be moving first next round, completely wasting her setup turn. Her last move isn't much better, as Explosion has gone from a massive 8 heart finisher to a move that gives you plus 15 hearts only if everyone chooses the same judge, and 0 hearts otherwise. If she does land it, there's still hope since she can rarely score points on her other turns, but that's assuming you already have a chance of beating her in the visual round, which we definitely do not. This is basically entirely down to luck, and it's very rare that she ever pulls it off. Unless, of course, everyone hones in on the same judge fighting over a potential 5-star jackpot, and we all end up handing Fantina the win. But who would ever do that? The dance portion is new to Sinnoh, and straightforwardly is just a call and response rhythm game. Pokemon Platinum features some exclusive songs that are only heard during the Ultra and Master Rank contests, which can trip up players with their 3-4 time signatures in the Cool and Beauty contests, or the high beats per minute found in the Cute contest. Something strange occurs in the Beauty, Ultra, and Master rank, where whichever Pokemon is leading the dance has a high chance of completely whiffing their moves. Unfortunately, we can't control the AI's performance nearly as much as we could in the first round, but there are still some things we can do to try and trip them up. If a step comes on an odd number of beats after the previous one, there's an 8% chance the AI will mess up, which basically means we want to alternate between the on beat and the off beat. There's a further 2% miss chance if the note is a different direction than the previous one, and the 5% increase if the last note was at least 8 beats ago. Finally, each opponent has a hidden bad direction that increases the miss chance by 3%. I don't think it's particularly useful to memorize the weak direction for every opponent, but in general, the Master rank opponents are bad at ups and rights, and none of them are bad with down inputs. The only one I remember by heart is Joanna and Jumpy, because ironically she's bad at jumping and I find that very funny. It's not known what the base percentage is for the opponents to mess up during your turn, but employing some of these tricks can help squeeze every last bit of advantage you can after the second round. While a flawless dance portion isn't a strict requirement, winning our dance rounds in general will be a huge boon. Last up is the acting portion, and to say this received an overhaul would be an understatement. No more jamming, no more nervousness, and no more contest combinations. The most apparent change, however, is the addition of 2 more judges, Jordan and Kira, alongside head judge Dexter. Now each having their own 5-star voltage meter, each having their own potential to pay out with a jackpot. 5 hearts if landed with Jordan or Kira, and 8 hearts for Dexter, making this already potential powder keg of a mechanic even more likely to blow up in your face. Notably, this is generally the only benefit to using moves that match the contest type, as unlike Hoenn, there is no bonus heart for being on theme. 3 judges also means a 3-way split for their attention, and at the end of each round, hearts will be awarded for how unique your chosen judge was that turn. 3 hearts if you had a completely unique appeal, -1 for each opponent who dogpiled your same judge. This unfortunately is completely up to RNG, and can sometimes mean the difference between first and second if the other 2 opponents take your hearts while letting Joanna have a judge all to herself. But the AI actually cheats in the player's favor in this regard. First, the opponent sees if there are any judges that they want to appeal to, usually because they're going first and a judge has a potential jackpot available. If they don't have a preference, there is a 90%, 50%, 20%, or 0% chance respectively in the normal, great, ultra, and master rank for them to peek at which judge the player has selected. If they decide to peek, they will intentionally choose one of the other judges, giving the player more chances for judge uniqueness points. This is why it's extremely rare to see all 4 contestants pick the same judge before reaching the master rank, and why it's seemingly always the case that at least one opponent jumps on your same judge in the higher rank contests. So now that we know all the ways we can squeeze out advantage over our opponents no matter which Pokemon we're running, we need to plan a moveset for Van No. Unfortunately, most moves had their contest effects completely reworked for these new contests, and across the board, moves score much lower in Generation 4. The best we can consistently hope for is to score 16 hearts across 4 turns, averaging out to 4 per turn. This can be achieved by most Pokemon using a combination of moves with situational effects that cover a broad range of situations. +2 if first moves like Return, +2 if last moves like Nature Power, +X for low voltage moves like Protect, and ×2 next turn moves like Bulk Up are all staples of a healthy contest diet. To reduce the number of moves we'll have to sketch, however, we'll be going with a much simpler combination. Like usual, we'll bring a move that doubles our score next turn. These are your usual stat boosting moves that gave condition stars in the last game. For cool we have Dragon Dance, Swords Dance for beauty, Amnesia in cute, Smart once again we use Calm Mind, and Acid Armor in tough. As our follow-up, instead of using a wide net of moves that score 4 hearts in different scenarios, we can mitigate the risk of being stranded unable to cash in any of them by running a move effect we always know will be fulfilled. Some moves have the effect of scoring 2 hearts with an additional 2 hearts if the voltage goes up, meaning they were used in the same type of contest. Admittedly, this effect is pretty poorly distributed, but from Smeargle's Bottomless Learn set we can pull Zap Cannon for cool, Signal Beam in beauty, Bug Buzz on cute, Grass Knot during smart, and Spatial Rend for tough. The only wrinkle that can sabotage our strategy is the potential for moves that pause the voltage from being raised for the turn, which will also shut off the bonus for raising the voltage on our moves. In practice, this only came up once or twice, since moves that double our points next turn don't score any hearts themselves, so it's pretty rare that we aren't going first on the turn that we execute our combo. And with our path to victory laid out, all that's left is to follow through. We're still winning the visual competition, but I suspect that is about to change when we get into Ultra Rank. I'm pretty sure they're programmed to go after the 5-star if it's just given to them. Well, Flash didn't win the visual round, so I'm not as concerned, but it's still bad. Yeah, I think they got it. Unless we pulled ahead of them, but I don't think we did because they got an extra turn of hearts, basically. Yep. We lost to Malice anyway. We need to win the dance round by a larger margin. Chimpy, whatever your other name is, please don't go Dexter. I swear, if everyone goes Dexter and Fantina gets the plus 15... No, Strix has it. I think Strix wins then. Oh my god, and Fantina's gonna get the plus 15. Okay, we lost. Fantina won. Okay. So that's how not to do it. That's nightmare scenario. Strix didn't even get second. Okay, that's about as good of an appeal round as we can have. Let's see if it paid off. If this doesn't get it, we might need created as our visual category or a perfect dance round. We got there. But that is but a fifth of the madness we must endure. Let's go. Feels good to get that done on the first try. I don't know if we're gonna get there without scoring a 5-star. But we're kind of out of turns to be scoring a 5-star with. Hey, okay. I don't know if that's going to be replicable for the cute, smart, or tough, because they don't suck so bad in the dance like they do in Beauty Ultra for some reason. But we will take that win. You know what's funny is I don't know if they've patched this or not. Nature, at least for a little while, nature didn't determine what form of toxicity you got when transferring from Go. You would transfer the form, like you would just get random low key or amped up, and then when you transferred it, it would get a random nature, and so there was a coin flips chance. It just you had a mismatched nature. Yep, regional forms would transfer over with the moveset of their non-regional forms. Slowking for some reason would get Unseen Fist instead of Curious Medicine. Galarian Slowking. May have accidentally set up a 5-star for our opponents here. We won't worry about it. It's a normal or great rank contest, so we were winning on by round 2. So a 5-star for our opponents isn't as disastrous. Like in an Ultra or a Master, I would reset if they get it here, but Jangle actually won the acting portion, but they were behind us far enough that we still won. That could have ended badly, though. They basically just eked it out from Judge Uniqueness, if I had to guess. Not a fan of them dogpiling onto my judge and letting Rusty get +3 while we get +1. But, like, you literally can't do anything about that. Well, we'll see if we made up the difference between Rusty and our positions. We had this is the second best dress-up category, and we had a flawless dance round, so if this doesn't do it, we might just need created. Not quite. Maybe if they had dogpiled her in some of the judging. But if, looks like if Jasmine's there, we need it to be created. Or just have a Fantina there instead of Jasmine. Fantina is nice because she wins the visual round, but then heavily loses the appeal round. The opponents here score the worst on average in created, but some of them still get a couple hearts. Jumpy gets 1, Rampy gets 1, or Rampy got 2. Okay, we still won the dance portion. Okay, we should have Dexter's +8 turn. Because we're going first next turn. Huge. This is how I win. I would love if the others didn't go on Dexter and we get to... Okay. I was gonna say we get to max out Judge Uniqueness too. But, sorry, Twigs had other plans. Oh my god, we still lost to Jumpy? Even with all that? I don't think we can have any of the other high-level opponents, then. First Jasmine, now Jumpy. I think we need Fantina to biff it. We got the +8 and she still won. Like, we could have done a little better in the dance competition. I'd rather have a flawless dance section or an 8-heart appeal, like a 5-star Dexter appeal. This contest we had neither. We're only in third by a little bit, though. Okay. We're very close. I think if we get a perfect dance contest, we can win this. Whew. Perfect dance or 8-heart appeal and Joanna isn't one of our opponents because what the heck was that last contest? Okay, flawless dance section. We're still in fourth coming into... the final round, but I feel like it's a close fourth. By a hair, but we'll take it. Oh, maybe it was that we needed a flawless dance. Because if we didn't dance flawlessly in that one, we would have lost. But there we go. We're out of the cute contest, which I'd argue is the hardest. Because Fantina doesn't show up here, and Fantina is probably the easiest Master Rank opponent. Ironically. It's wild that I could have gone Destiny Bond and gotten the +15. That would have been a 23 heart performance. Like, you can see, like, Jasmine and Rusty and Kristen and Zappy are only, like, 1 or 2 hearts ahead of us at this point. Yep. Ah, 2 misses is really bad. I mixed up the controls. Three misses. We're gonna lose the dance round. Yeah, that's really bad. Hoping we can salvage this, but our worst dance performance to date might need a 5-star. Hopefully. Ooh, we're gonna get the +8. Okay. Hopefully that makes up for my performance in the dance portion, because that was not ideal. Okay. Our bad dancing didn't cost us. We'll take that. We got lucky, but then again, a healthy sprinkling of luck is definitely vital for this challenge. Figured there was no chance we would get Jordan's 5-star, so I'm going to just see if someone else goes on Kira and we can get Kira's 5-star. Sure. Two 5-stars in one contest. I mean, like, that's the sort of thing where you'd see that and you'd be like, you'd be in the audience, you'd be like, oh, okay, this is scripted. I bought a ticket to see a Pokemon contest and they just gave it to one guy. Maybe I should have reset for a better visual category. There's slight edge in the visuals got us. Unfortunate. Well, we might as well try. They passed on it. I'll take it. Oh, we're gonna get the +3 on top of an 8 heart Dexter bonus. That is probably the... I think that's the only time I've ever seen a blue heart. They're very rare. Are we gonna get a blue heart in the Master Rank Tough contest? Having the explosion text and not immediately following it up with, oh no, somebody performed for that judge. That's really funny. Maybe she could have gotten it if she went for Dexter. Maybe Pinky would have gotten it if she went for Dexter. Alright, we're not gonna get a blue heart then. We have to be unique on the 5-star. Which I didn't think could happen. I thought the AI would go for the 5-star if presented, but... we are still gonna get all gold hearts, which is... that +8 still might have cost us if they had been like, if one more person had gotten on that judge uniqueness bonus, we might not have won that. So wild that we only won by such a narrow margin, even with the +8, but there we go. If Smeargle can do it, so can your Pokemon. And there we go. The worst possible contest stats, and we've gotten all of the Sinnoh contest ribbons. Having successfully finished our gold contest memory ribbon with Van No, the next set of contests in the series are a bit of an anomaly for this challenge. In Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, there is no such thing as Sheen, or rather it's tracked for transfer Pokemon but is completely unused within the Hoenn remakes. This change has raised a few questions for our purposes, the first of which being is, do we even do these contests? The goal of this video is to show possible ways to still win every contest when your stats are locked out of improving any further, and with no Sheen cap on how many Pokeblocks we can eat, that situation no longer exists. By extension, with no Sheen limit to hold us back, Van No's contest stats aren't technically at rock bottom among those with the same Sheen, now sitting just barely above it. If only there was some way to get a clean slate, some other Smeargle who could compete in his stead. There we go. At least the shiny patch resets were nice to me after that took a bit of doing. Say probably like 5 or 6 chains. Some short, some as long as they needed to be. Let's see, we already had Van No. This is Navinci. And they will be our champion for being really bad at contests but winning anyway. I mean, hey, does it have hard scale? I found a shiny love disc before I found 11 heart scales. Amazing. With Navinci, our spiritual successor to Van No, acquired, and with the understanding that there is absolutely no reason to do this without maxing out your contest stats beforehand, let's go over our options for conquering these contests without maxing out our contest stats beforehand. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire contests much more closely resemble Ruby and Sapphires when compared to Generation 4, but there are a few differences that will affect our strategy. The opportunity to score an additional heart for matching the contest's type returns, but Oros also makes good on the threat of lowering the audience's excitement by causing it to reduce the user's score, so opposing category move combinations are even less effective. The combinations that we relied so heavily on in the originals are both more restrictive in what actually counts as a combination, and even if you do assemble one, it only gives 3 additional hearts instead of doubling the entire score like last time. While it can still be worthwhile to pursue some of these combos, the payoff is much less lucrative, and more often than not there are moves that don't necessarily combo that still work better together. For example, in the beauty contest we no longer rely on Sunny Day and Overheat to carry us through, and instead put together a higher scoring combination of 2 condition star awarding moves that feed into a charge beam on turn 4. A move that pays out an additional 3 hearts for each condition star instead of just 1. Explosion is a tricky move to sketch, but offers a clean 8 heart finale for most of our contest movesets, as Cool and Cute lack any powerful self-KO finishers that would score an extra heart and won't penalize us for being in an adjacent category. In the Smart, or as they're known from here on, Clever contests, we can finish with a Destiny Bond, and in the Toughness contest, Final Gambit joins the ranks of self-destructive moves that can score us big points. For our Cool moveset, we can alternate between Focus Energy and Shadow Claw. In Cute, we use Hone Claws followed by Baton Pass. Cleverness sees us using Calm Mind and Stored Power, and finally in Tough, we run Endure and Endeavor. The 5 Scarves have also recovered from being next to useless, instead providing 1 extra heart even if our contest stats are maxed out, which ours are decidedly not. The last piece of advice I have for these contests is to beware Lysia. Unlocked, or more accurately unleashed by winning each Master Rank contest once, Lysia is a monstrously powerful contest opponent, easily the most difficult in the entire series. Equipped with 5 different bespoke, synergistic movesets to bring to any type of contest, she will always appear after she is set free until defeated at least once, after which she will merely haunt almost every contest you enter on that save file. While most Master Rank opponents barely scratch 10 out of a possible 26.5 visual points, Lysia scores upwards of 19, putting her within striking distance of a fully maxed out contest Pokemon. As if that wasn't enough, her Altaria Knight means that she scores 8 hearts instead of 5 if she pulls off a 5-star appeal, which she does with frightening regularity. If I ever lose a contest in Generation 6 outside of this challenge, it's entirely because Lysia appeared and I got lazy and didn't feel like resetting over her. Anyway, these games are also the first to not strictly require the same Pokemon to clear every rank in order to obtain all the ribbons, instead allowing Pokemon to skip straight to the Master Rank once it's been unlocked. How do I turn the camera setting off? I forgot this was a feature. You guys enjoying what my keyboard looks like? You know what? Contest ribbon pins, now on sale from Chotakana. Get them while they're gettable. Yeah, these are on Chotakana's Etsy if you're interested. Not how I expected to be promoting these. Look at the beating these pins can take. They can take a Shadow Claw with a Focus Energy. They can take a takedown from an Aeron. Yeah, okay, getting jammed for 12 hearts total in a contest. Not great for our contest score. We might want to consider this one. We'll see how much we lose by, because I don't think we're winning. Yeah, okay. There's a world where if we don't get jammed for 12 hearts across the contest and we get a 5-star, I think we could win. 1 5-star and an opponent got a 5-star. Let's see if it needs to be only us getting a 5-star. We also placed 4th immediately. That's really funny. We might need 2 5-stars. Annoyingly though, because Galaxy is here, they're gonna Hyper Beam everyone to oblivion. Wait. They didn't take it from me? Alright. We got both 5 stars, and no opponents got any 5 stars. That's what it takes. And if Lysia was in this contest, we would lose by default. Like, I don't think she's possible to beat with no contest stats. But she's not required to fight, so... I hate that this is a feature and the artist ribbon isn't in this game. They literally could have given you the artist ribbon here. But they didn't. And it's just like... Is it because it's not a painting? Is it a picture? We needed Wobbuffet to not get nervous there, because then they could have set us up for a 5-star, so... Of course they get nervous when we need them not to get nervous, and don't get nervous when we need them to get nervous. Any shot Plumile doesn't use a beauty move? Like, it sometimes does feel targeted. Sometimes it does feel like the game is like, what would prevent them from getting a 5-star? Do that. Nice. Alright, didn't end up needing 2 5-stars. Mashiri got 4th, and they were the only other one to pick up a 5-star, so... Unfortunate for them. Oh my god. Not only did Pichu use a move that they used twice, they used the same move twice in a row, so they wouldn't raise the voltage, but then also Delcatty got nervous, so they wouldn't raise the voltage. It's like, sometimes it feels scripted. Luckily, we're getting the 5-star anyway, but like, what an outcome. Getting 2 5-stars on our first contest without Lysia is actually like the ideal scenario. Man, we might have beaten that with without even getting 2 5-stars. That just went perfectly, huh? Okay, so Ninkata basically just sabotaged our plan the whole time and caused us to lose in the normal rank. And Topclops is just kind of being a menace right now. Luckily, they didn't delete our stars until after we were done with them. Yeah, let's see what Princess went for. Okay. Wish is cute, I believe. Alright, we didn't get a 5-star. 2 of our opponents did, but let's see if our combo is up to snuff. Or if we need to reset if anyone gets a 5-star. Oh. Pleasant surprise. Let's see. Cool. So even without getting a 5-star, even with some opponents getting a 5-star, 0 toughness, yellow scarf, endure, endeavor, final gambit. Without Lysia to counterbalance us, Navinci is able to take down every master rank and earn his contest star ribbon, clearing all 20 contest spectaculars without having touched a single Pokéblock, and earning himself a special entrance animation here in Omega Ruby. But with that shot across the bow at the developers by refusing to engage with their much more player-friendly version of this mechanic, we have one more set of games to set Van No upon. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl make training contest Pokemon much simpler compared to the originals, but they may have gotten overzealous in making the entire contest system simpler as well. Unlike the original Sinnoh games, we only use one move during the entire contest, and our visual score is now determined by a combination of contest stats as well as ball capsule stickers, with 20 champion stickers from Cynthia being the most powerful capsule we can make. Ignoring that we could have fixed Van No's contest stats back in Generation 6, when deciding what move we want to take with us, there are 2 effects in the running for the most appeal. Type points gained will increase by 3 if Groove is positive, found on moves like Giga Impact and Focus Punch, or for 10 seconds it will be much easier to fill up the heart gauge, carried on moves like Solar Beam and Future Sight. While on paper the first effect would always score more hearts by filling our move bar, using a move with the latter effect could make up the difference if we're able to score 21 or more perfect notes while the effect is active to fill up our dance bar, filling it even further than we usually could. The trickier bit is timing our moves so that those 10 seconds fall over as many notes as possible, but most contest songs have a period with only a few notes where the music ramps up, during which we can use our move so that its effect is active during the densest portion of the music. Much like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, we can enter the Master Rank contest so long as we've completed the lower ranks with another Pokemon. So without a reason like Lysia to do all the lower ranks again, and with Magma Storm sketched as our contest move, our final gauntlet of contests begins. I'm gonna use my move here so that when we get to the climax of the song, we'll have the effect going. Still win. Let's see if that was enough. Tied with Fantina. Enough for the ribbon, though. Like, I should do it, like, right before that long note in the middle. That scoops up a lot of notes right at the end. Hey, a tie is a win. Getting extra hard if we go next to Jasmine. Nice. There's a lot more notes at the end of the song, though. Hey, a solo win. There's one more contest ribbon we must acquire. And this one, I think, is just gonna be, like, completely normal. Because the Shining contest doesn't account for your contest stats. At least not to my knowledge. And you can see the visual bar is, like, near maxed out. That's actually as high as the visual bar gets in a Shining contest, which is really annoying that they didn't adjust it to so that's max visual. But that's what 255 Sheen plus 20 champion stickers gets you. You can't have a higher score than that, so why is it, like, why is it 80% of the bar then, if that's 100% of the possible score? And with that, Van No the Shadow Smeargle and Na Vinci the Shiny Smeargle have definitively proven that you can win every single contest, even if your contest stats are far from perfect. While I don't doubt a lot of the heavy lifting came from being able to use every single move that we could possibly want, unless you manage to completely screw up your contest stats on a Pokemon like Magikarp, I think you'll manage just fine. I'd like to give a shout out to Mercury Enigma for their contest moveset tool that helped me develop movesets for Smeargle throughout the generations, and to Sadistic Mystic, who has documented many of the specific numbers surrounding contests, which are cited in the Pokemon Ribbons Discord. Hopefully this will serve as a neat guide on how to maximize your score in each contest and hopefully earn each contest ribbon on your Pokemon, Ribbon Masters or otherwise. And if not, thanks for checking out this absurd challenge. And thanks for watching.